Let me tell you something. Life is a game of energy. The people you surround yourself with, they either fuel your fire or drain your soul. And sometimes we hold on too tight to the wrong ones. We justify their actions, we ignore the signs, we make excuses because we're afraid of letting go. There are moments in life when we feel uncertain about the people around us. We question their intentions, we wonder if they truly have our best interests at heart, and yet we hesitate to walk away. That hesitation comes from our limited perspective. We can only see what's in front of us, but God sees the entire picture. He hears the conversations that happen when we're not in the room. He knows the true thoughts and motivations of people, even when they pretend to be something they're not. While we might be fooled by appearances, God never is. There are times when we think someone is meant to stay in our lives forever, but God knows they are only meant to be there for a season. We hold on because of history, because of comfort, or because we don't want to be alone. But what we don't realize is that keeping the wrong people around can delay what God is trying to do in our lives. When someone's heart isn't right towards you, when their spirit isn't aligned with where you're going, God will start giving you signs. Sometimes it's small things, a shift in energy, a gut feeling, a moment that doesn't sit right with you. Other times it's loud and clear. Betrayal, disrespect, or consistent actions that show they were never truly for you. The problem is we often ignore those signs. We make excuses for people. We convince ourselves that they didn't mean it, that things will change, that we're just overthinking. But the truth is, when God starts revealing who someone really is, it's not to hurt you, it's to protect you. He's giving you insight, He's opening your eyes, and most importantly, He's giving you a choice. You can either listen to what He's showing you or continue to hold on and experience unnecessary pain. Sometimes God will remove people in ways we don't understand. Friendships suddenly fall apart, relationships end out of nowhere, people distance themselves without an explanation. And in those moments, it's easy to feel abandoned, to wonder what went wrong, to even blame yourself. But what if nothing went wrong? What if God was answering a prayer you didn't even know you needed? What if He was clearing space for something greater? The people who leave may not always do so in a way that makes sense, but their departure is never accidental. The people we surround ourselves with have a direct impact on our mindset, our emotions, and ultimately our future. Some people uplift us, inspire us, and push us to become better. Others drain us, discourage us, and hold us back without us even realizing it. The wrong people don't always come in obvious forms. Sometimes they disguise themselves as friends, partners, or even family members who claim to support us but secretly envy us. They might not say it outright, but their actions, their energy, and their words slowly chip away at our confidence, our faith, and our vision. It's easy to recognize someone toxic when they constantly bring drama, negativity, or betrayal. But the more dangerous ones are the ones who pretend to be on your side while secretly working against you. These are the people who subtly plant doubt in your mind, who never celebrate your wins, who always have something negative to say about your dreams. They disguise their criticism as just being real or looking out for you, but in reality, they're projecting their own fears and limitations onto you. When you spend too much time around these kinds of people, their energy starts affecting you in ways you don't even notice. You start second-guessing yourself. You start feeling heavy, unmotivated, or even anxious without understanding why. That's because their presence is not in alignment with your purpose. The wrong people will keep you stuck in cycles that aren't meant for you. They will keep you engaged in conversations that drain your spirit. They will convince you to settle for less than what you deserve. They will make you feel guilty for wanting more out of life, and the longer you allow them to stay in your life, the harder it becomes to break free. Some people are only comfortable with you when you remain the version of yourself that they can control or understand. The moment you start growing, evolving, or thinking differently, they feel threatened. Instead of encouraging you, they pull away, talk behind your back, or try to make you feel bad for changing. God removes people for a reason, but it's up to us to recognize when someone's presence is no longer serving us. It's not about judging others, It's about protecting our energy, our peace, and our purpose. When someone is meant to leave your life, you will feel it. The question is, will you listen? Rejection is one of the hardest things to accept, especially when it comes from people we care about. Whether it's a friendship that falls apart, a relationship that ends, or an opportunity that slips away, it's easy to feel like something is being taken from us. We start questioning ourselves, wondering what we did wrong, trying to hold on to something that's already gone. But what if rejection isn't something happening to you, but something happening for you? What if the very thing you try to hold on to is the thing that's blocking you from the life God has planned for you? God's protection doesn't always feel like protection in the moment. Sometimes it looks like disappointment. Sometimes it looks like confusion. Sometimes it feels like abandonment. But the truth is, God sees what's ahead. He knows what's behind closed doors. He understands the things that you can't yet comprehend. And when He removes something or someone from your life, it's never without purpose. You may not see it immediately, but if you trust the process, you will realize that every so-called rejection was actually a redirection towards something better. The problem is we often resist this process. We fight to keep relationships that have already served their purpose. We beg for opportunities that weren't meant for us. We replay situations in our minds, trying to make sense of why things ended the way they did. But the more we resist, the more pain we create for ourselves. Holding on to what God is trying to remove only delays the blessings that are meant to come. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is God making room for? Sometimes the people we lose were never meant to go where we're headed. They may have played a role in a certain season, but that doesn't mean they were meant to be in our lives forever. Their departure is not a punishment. It's preparation. God knows that if they stayed, they would only bring distraction, confusion, or pain later down the road. He removes them now so you don't have to suffer later. You may not understand it now, but at some point, you will look back and realize that what felt like rejection was actually divine protection from something that could have hurt you more than you ever imagined. Letting go is never easy, especially when we have deep connections with people. We hold on because of the memories, because of the comfort, because of the idea of what could have been. But just because someone was an important part of your past doesn't mean they're meant to be in your future. When God removes people from your life, it's not to punish you. It's to clear space for something greater. Yet so often we resist this process. We cling to relationships that have run their course. We try to revive friendships that no longer serve us. And we fight to keep people in our lives who are no longer meant to be there. What we don't realize is that holding on to the wrong people creates a block. It keeps us stuck in places we've already outgrown. It drains our energy, weakens our faith, and delays the blessings that God is trying to send us. When we continue to give our time and attention to people who no longer align with our journey, we are essentially saying to God, I don't trust you enough to make room for what's next. But the truth is, every person who leaves, every relationship that ends, and every connection that fades is making space for something better. Sometimes we hold on because we fear the unknown. We think, what if I don't find anyone better? Or what if I end up alone? But that fear comes from a place of scarcity, not faith. God never takes without replacing. He never removes without restoring. But He can't bring new, healthy, and aligned relationships into your life if you're still clinging to the wrong ones. The longer you hold on to people who were only meant to be in your life for a season, the longer you delay meeting the ones who are meant to walk with you into your next chapter. God's plan is always bigger than our own. He knows the kind of people you need around you to grow, to evolve, and to become everything He created you to be. He knows the type of love, support, and friendships that will bring out the best in you. But in order to receive those relationships, you have to be willing to release what no longer serves you. When something or someone leaves your life, trust that it's because they were never meant to be part of your future. When God removes someone from your life, it's not just about protecting you from harm, it's about positioning you for purpose. There are people who are only meant to be in your life for a certain season, and when that season is over, their presence no longer aligns with where you're headed. The problem is we often get attached. We build emotional connections, we make future plans, and we convince ourselves that certain people are supposed to be with us forever. But forever isn't always part of God's plan. Some people are lessons, some are stepping stones, and some are detours meant to teach you something before you step into your true calling. God knows the kind of people you need around you to fulfill your purpose. He knows that the wrong relationships can hold you back, keep you distracted, and cause you to settle for less than what you were created for. Some people bring chaos into your life, but because you're used to it, you mistake it for love or friendship. Some people make you doubt yourself, but because their words are wrapped in familiarity, you accept them as truth. God sees how these connections are affecting you, even when you don't. He knows that as long as they stay in your life, you'll keep repeating cycles that prevent you from growing. That's why He steps in and removes them, even when you don't understand why. Letting go of certain people is an act of faith. It's trusting that even though you don't see the full picture, God does. It's believing that His plan is greater than your personal attachments. Sometimes the removal happens suddenly, a betrayal, a breakup, or a situation that forces you to walk away. Other times it's gradual, distance growing between you and someone you once considered close, conversations feeling forced, the connection no longer feeling the same. These are not coincidences, they are signs that God is shifting things in your life. Obedience to God's plan means being willing to release what no longer serves you. It means recognizing that your purpose is bigger than any single relationship. The people who are meant to be in your life will align with your calling, not pull you away from it. They will encourage your growth, not resist it. They will bring peace, not confusion. But in order to receive these relationships, you have to trust God enough to let go of what's not meant for you. Growth requires separation. Not everyone is meant to go where you're headed, and that's one of the hardest lessons to accept. We get attached to people, we build connections, we invest time, and we assume that certain relationships will last forever. But when God starts shifting things in your life, when He starts preparing you for something greater, He will also start removing people who can't grow with you. Not because they're bad, not because they're unworthy, but because their role in your story has ended. Holding on to them will only slow you down. There are people in your life right now who are meant to be part of your past, but not your future. They were placed in your life to teach you something, to help you through a certain season, or to serve a purpose that has now been fulfilled. But instead of recognizing that their time in your life has ended, you try to force a connection that no longer fits. You lower your energy to match theirs. You hold yourself back to avoid making them uncomfortable. You shrink your dreams because they don't support them. And in doing so, you delay the very growth that God is calling you toward. God's plan for your life is too big for small-minded people. It's too powerful for those who are comfortable in mediocrity. It's too purposeful for those who don't want to see you rise. The truth is, some people only support you as long as you remain at their level. The moment you start thinking bigger, moving differently, or stepping into your calling, they feel threatened. Instead of celebrating you, they start questioning you. Instead of supporting you, they distance themselves. Instead of growing with you, they try to pull you back. When God removes people, it's not a loss, it's a setup. He's not taking away, He's making space. He knows the kind of relationships you need to elevate, the kind of people who will push you, challenge you, and walk with you into your destiny. But in order for you to receive those relationships, you have to be willing to let go of the ones that are keeping you stagnant. Some people were part of your past version, but your next level requires a new circle, a new mindset, and a new environment. God is clearing the path. You just have to trust Him enough to walk forward.